Welcome to It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. What is it? It's everything. Everything you want in life starts with courage. JB.
Getting so close.
Episode 52, 1 year, guys. When we make it 1 year,
maybe we'll have 5 listeners.
You know, we have more. Seeing the analytics, and you guys have been so phenomenal over the last couple of months. So grateful for all the support, the sharing that you guys are doing with the podcast. We definitely see you over there on Instagram, sharing those podcasts, replying, interacting with us. So grateful. Don't forget to check out iswcpodcast.com to submit your stories of courage. Sounded so infomercial.
I was walking through Costco today and I'm wearing my It Starts With Courage shirt. And the lady was like, I like your shirt.
Oh.
I was like, thank you. She goes, it does start with courage.
Yeah.
You
should have said the podcast, man.
I should have, but I was not in the right mindset for self-promotion.
I do like these. I do have a couple of people over at work who have a couple because they're like, I just love these shirts. Like,
oh, good.
Okay. Spread the word.
All right. So we have a episode that we've been talking about, and we're going to talk about it today.
Yeah.
It's about people pushing you out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when we think about being pushed out of our comfort zone, we think about, oh my God, I got to make cold calls, or I got to like go work out in the gym in front of all these like buff people, or like those kind of comfort zones. But I have a story. This family has been amazing. I met them a few years ago, and just started working with them recently. And I love them to death. Mm-hmm. They're especially me and the wife have like same kind of energy. I love the way she thinks. But man, like they have pushed me way out of my comfort zone. So in real estate, you know, like I have my certain ways that I do this. And I'm sure everybody at work has like, you go in, you check your email a certain way, or you file things a certain way. You do things a certain way because over years of doing it, you found that this is the best way to do it. So when I work with a new customer, like I typically like meet them at the office. We kind of talk over their situation, get them pre-approved, look at things online. We go look at a few houses. They buy a house.
Right.
This family, they're like using a family lender, like a commercial lender. And so like, it's not like the normal get a pre-approval letter and like, this is how you do it. It's very different. It's not really based on the same kind of documentation that like you or I would use to buy a house. It's just different. So, you know, having the lender is, you know, different. It's a different lender. It's kind of out of my comfort zone because I don't really have like I know they're pre-approved, but I don't really have a letter, like a letter. Yeah. And so, and I don't operate that way. Like I don't, I always have a letter, you know, I don't want to spend my time. So many people will waste your time in this business and say that they can get approved and stuff, and then they never can. And so like that's like key for me to always have this letter. And I don't really have a letter, but I look at all their assets. I know they have it. But anyway, so these people, I'm very on athlete time, right? Like being a college athlete, a pro athlete. If you're late, you're in trouble. So I'm always early. I hate being late. If I'm late by 1 minute, I'm texting you saying I'm right down the street. I'm going to be late. You know, I hate it. These guys, they're always like, hey, inspection starts at 9. We'll be there at 9:30. Like they're always like running a little late. So we go to list one of their houses the other day, and it's one that they're living in. and we're getting pictures taken.
Yeah.
And I get there about 20 minutes before the photographers get there, and the house is like, they need to sweep, they need to do this, they need to do all this. And she's like, girl, I'm good, I'm gonna be ready by. And it started raining, so I was like, let me just cancel them and reschedule them for tomorrow, and that'll give you tonight to finish. Next day, same thing. We're racing to the end. But so we're like, okay, take a picture of this room and then move all the stuff over here.
Yeah.
Take a picture of this room, then move all the stuff
How
like
much
into
stuff
the room.
do they have?
It's not a lot of stuff, but just like little, like for pictures, you're very picky and minimalist. So anyway, so they're like rushing to get pictures taken. So I talked to them last week, and they were like, okay, we think we're gonna be ready for showings on Sunday. And I was like, well, let's do this. Let me put it on the market Friday night, and I'll block all showings until Sunday at 2:00. And we'll do the open house from 2 to 4. And we won't let any showings before that. That way, I mean, this family has all kind of animals, chickens, dogs, cats, guinea pigs, rabbits, snakes, rats, like all of them. So we got to like figure out what we're doing with all the animals. So an open house,
you can't have anything there.
Well, we can put it, they have a room in the garage that's air conditioned that we can put it in. But having a bunch of people come through at one time is better than like individual showings. It's just easier. So I get there about 1:20-ish to put out the signs and stuff. And I come, there's like, you can tell they've been hustling, all day getting ready for this. But it's like getting close to go time. Yeah. And there have flowers on the table and like all this. And it's like getting closer and closer. And I was like,
feel good about my house.
I was like, do you need some help? And she's always like, just sit there and look pretty. Like she don't want any help. And so at 1:30, we have this agent show up with their clients. And I was like, hey, we're not ready. Like, we're not going to be ready till like 2:00. So they're standing outside in the heat, in the sun, in the heat for like 30 minutes. And so it's getting to be 2:00. And she's like, I just got to vacuum one more room. I just got to put, and I look outside, and there's 20 people in the driveway, all waiting
to see the house.
And I'm like, freaking out inside. I'm like, okay, like I know like you're not completely ready, but I can't like these people are baking in the sun. Yeah. Like we can't make them upset. Like I'm just going to have to let them come in and like just tell them we did the best we can, you know? And so we did. And I've told her, I was like, man, you pushed me out of my comfort zone because like I'm so like early and everything is up. Oh, it was turned up a lot. And so that was the best open house I think we've ever had. I probably had 35 couples come through, but I was like frazzled, right? Yeah. Like I was like, I was frazzled because I had all these people in. I was frazzled because my sellers were still there, like putting on their shoes and picking up the vacuum cleaner.
Oh no.
And it was just a lot.
Well, what did that experience, what did it do for you in terms of like, did you learn anything?
Well, I've reflected on it, and normally like when things push me out of my comfort zone, like I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Like I don't like that. But I've tried to look at this a little bit different, and I've tried to say, as much as I like to be this rigid, process-oriented person, and we follow this process, and this is how I do it, and this is how I'm most comfortable with. Yeah. Like, not every family is like that. No. And so that's their most comfortable way to operate. Yeah. And so it made me think like, I need to be a little more adaptable. Yeah. I need to be able to like go with the flow and like race down to the wire and like just make it happen. and make the experience a positive for them,
Mm.
because it's me that's like rigid and this is how like I like to work,
Yeah.
but I've got to be able to say, okay, this isn't exactly like how I would do it,
Mhm.
but this is their home buying process.
Yeah.
And I would much rather me be out of my comfort
Zone.
zone and let them be comfortable and everything and be
Yeah.
happy than them have to adapt to the way I
I
do
do things.
things.
Yeah.
So I guess I just tell that story because I feel like we kind of get like
Stuck in our own ways.
stuck in our ways, and then like somebody comes along and kind
Mhm.
of knocks you off a little bit, and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that. But then they could show you a whole new
Something
way
completely
to
different.
do it
Yeah.
that you like better, but you never tried it.
Mhm.
Not that I like going down to the wire better.
Yeah.
I still don't like that better. But I can appreciate the effort they put in. I can
Mhm.
appreciate having like I have one child
Yeah.
and one dog. It's easy for me to get myself ready
Yeah.
and get my teenager ready and put the dog in the kennel or
And say,
take the
let's
dog with
go.
me and say, let's go, than
Mm.
it is for a family of 5 to like everybody on the same page, everybody, all the animals, let's get everything.
Literally.
And like, if I cleaned it one day, the next day it's going to be pretty much clean. But
Yeah.
like when you have that many moving parts, it could be a disaster
So,
by the
yeah.
next day.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're in a big family.
I mean, we're in a big family and organizing things like that does not work. I remember we're organizing my sister's 50th once, and everybody, like, we all agree on ideas, but when it comes down to the wire, literally, I think I'm used to operating last minute because literally nothing is ever done until the very last minute. Um, and I think I'm kind of, that's probably how I operate. I function very well under pressure. And I don't know whether it's because at that point I'm also being pushed out of my comfort zone. I find, as we should, I think I learn a lot more about myself or a lot more about a situation when I'm uncomfortable.
Mhm.
I would say throughout even this bodybuilding competition that I just did, I've learned so much. Like, it's way out of my comfort zone in terms of the biggest part is actually the show, being essentially naked.
I've seen some of your Instagram
No,
posts.
okay, but like, okay, those Instagram posts, one, it took me years to even get to that point, and it's usually just me and a photographer.
Mhm.
This is me in a two-piece in front of hundreds of people, and at that point, you have to perform.
Right.
You're not just there to stand, because it's at this point I have to showcase purposefully all my hard work.
Yeah.
And it's way out of my comfort zone. But if I fold, one, I'm letting myself down. I'm letting my coach down. I'm also letting everyone else who's come to support me down. Now, I may not perform to the best of my ability, but I have to push myself to get out of that comfort zone and do what it takes. Like, peak week. I don't know if you ever heard people say peak week being the week before a competition. Everything changes in that week. The way that you eat, everything is very, very restricted. And I'm not used to restriction. So just the eating style is way out of my comfort zone. But every time and I've thought about cheating, like I would, when someone's eating chips, I'm like, can I just lick your finger? It's way out of your comfort zone, but like whether you're out of a comfort zone that's, things aren't going the way that you planned, I always think there are lessons to be learned in all situations that, okay, things may not be going how you planned for the open house, but after that, it also just for the future, that is it really that bad? You
No, I
want it to
mean,
go this way, but is it really that bad that it's not?
right. And it was a success. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
The family was fine. I was fine. The people were fine. It was just a good story that's the first time that's ever like
Yeah.
happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it really did push me out of my comfort zone. So
It's good to be out of your comfort zone. They say better an oops than a what if, So even if you're out of your comfort zone and you oops.
we need to hear from you people
Yes.
about like your work. Like this is we're kind of talking about work mostly, but I mean it could be it could be
Financially.
like me going to a like hip hop class. Like
Yeah.
that's not really my comfort zone, but like
I'll tell you what I want to do. That I know is definitely like out of my comfort zone. But I kind of feel like it's not out of my comfort zone and I make it outside of my comfort zone. I want to do pole fit.
You want to be a stripper?
I just want to go and learn how to do it. That's something I feel like is out of my comfort zone, and maybe the only reason I haven't gone is because I'm like, oh, what will people think? But I'll dance on a pole.
Oh my gosh, this show is like G-rated, like until you start
I know,
stripping, dancing on a pole.
Exactly. But I think there's so many things because we're so stuck in our ways, in how we operate, how we like things done, that sometimes you never know if you're missing out on a different experience of the same thing, but just by doing it differently, changing a few things, approaching it differently, could be a completely different experience.
Yeah, but also thinking like and how you're processing being out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
If like you're immediately no.
Immediately no.
Immediately no.
Yeah.
Like if I would have let that experience, if I would have thought of it differently, it could have really like
gone badly
for me. You know, like if I had like got agitated with them or myself or the situation or I think it's how we process. Like once somebody is pushing you out of that comfort zone, it's like, okay, I know I'm like out of the zone.
Yeah. Sink or swim.
Let's see. Can I think of this in a positive way?
Yeah.
What can I take out of this to spin this to be like, okay, like next time this happens, it's in my zone because I've dealt with it before. I can deal with it. It's not a big deal. I can handle it. So I think it's all in how you react to it and how you like allow yourself to process the feelings that come with being like out of your zone.
I 100% agree.
So all you people out there, you 4 followers that we have,
more than that.
No, we really have more than that. We have more than that. But we would love to hear from you and just see like if this has helped you at all. Like it a lot of our podcasts that we do are meant to help you like self-reflect on yourself.
Yes.
And how you're living life. Yes. And so you might listen to this and be like, thanks for listening to this episode of It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. If you like this episode of the podcast, visit our website, iswcpodcast.com, for show notes and other cool things.